gentlemen, straight from the ropes to your hands, welcome to VKPunk Wrestling, your one and only spot for recaps, news, and updates on professional wrestling in the world. And now, coming at you with all that attitude, here is your host, the BadGuy Vin C.
Hey yo, Wrestling Savages, what's cracking, bruv? Crank the volume up so your neighbors think that you're hosting the Elimination Chamber match in your living room. Strap in tight and let's crank the chaos because you're locked in with VKPunk Wrestling, the straight up powerhouse and soon to be recognized #1 spot for all of your pro wrestling mayhem. Packed with the booming action and that wild can't look away electricity that turns wrestling into the ultimate high, we're holding the title as the now undisputed champion, the VKPunk Wrestling Channel champion. I'm the bad guy, Vin C. Punk, and yeah, that's right, you heard right. We actually won the title. This weekend at Elimination Chamber, we had prediction war games with the CEO of the Wrestling Internet Network, the W.I.N, the promo club, Corey. And we had a great match. We had a great podcast earlier last week. Be sure to go check that out. It's a pretty good watch. And that, of course, is the Predictions War Games episode where we made our picks. And Elimination Chamber was in my favor that night. I won 3 out of the first 3 I picked correctly. Picked AJ and Punk and Rhea Ripley. So I got those right. He picked he picked CM Punk and Randy Orton. So he got those 2. But I won with a total of 3-2. We didn't have to go into bonus questions. There was no tie. I got a definitive win that night. And now I am the undisputed VKPunk Wrestling Channel champion. We're going to be doing a lot of work with the W.I.N. And hopefully that relationship grows. So be sure to go check them out on TikTok and Facebook. The W.I.N, the Wrestling Internet Network, the Promo Club. It goes by different names. I think they're all in the name though on the channel. So, but go check them out. They're a really cool organization, and it's pretty brutal just to watch the pages, even if you're not involved with the promos and stuff. I made my debut on their channel this weekend at W.I.N Undisputed in the 51-man Rumble match. You can go check that out. I don't know if I posted the promo on YouTube, but I guess I'm gonna have to. But you can go check that out on Facebook and TikTok as well. Tonight, though, we're diving into the Elimination Chamber. Did I already say that? No, tonight we're diving into the Elimination Chamber PLE 2026, and let me tell you, it's wilder than a Titus World slide. No diluted vibes here, guys. This is the raw heartbeat of the VKPunk Wrestling Revolution with you guys riding shotgun. So if your pulse is racing like you just survived a cane choke slam through the mat, then smash that like button, demolish, subscribe, and ignite the bell icon so you never miss a moment of any of the explosive action here on this channel. And if you're craving extra heat, you could slide over to TikTok and Facebook for raw clips, brutal breakdowns, and scoops that light your timeline on fire, guys. VKPunk Wrestling, we the ones for wrestling content. So before we dive into the carnage real quick, let's hit a pause for this quick message. Hey, yo, VKPunk Warriors, it's your boy, You know what? No, it's just me. Let's take a break from the character for just a second. I want to take a real honest moment here, straight from me, no filters, no persona. Let me talk to you guys. Mental health isn't just some casual mention or a quick line for me. It's something that I take incredibly seriously, and that's exactly why I include this plug in every single video on the YouTube channel. If you've been following along for the last 3 years through everything we've shared, the ups and downs, the tough times, and the progress, you know what I have been personally going through. I've been in some really dark places, dealing with depression that feels crushing, anxiety that doesn't let go, and those isolating moments where everything just feels overwhelming and quiet. I've fought my way through it, and I'm still here, but I truly understand what it's like, and I still get down and get into dark places sometimes, man, so I get it. I know the weight of feeling completely alone, even when life looks fine on the outside, and wondering if things will ever get better. That's why I don't mess around with this topic. And that promise I make in every video about reaching out to us on Facebook or TikTok, or if you're feeling any kind of way, I stand by it 100%, guys. I take it as seriously as anything in my life. I never want anyone to feel like you're facing their own struggles completely alone with no one in their corner. I have been there, feeling like nobody truly gets it or, has your back. And it's one of the worst feelings in the world. But you guys do have someone. We are here at VKPunk Wrestling. Message us anytime, day or night, and we will talk. No judgment, just real, open conversations. Because in this community that we've built, we're all in it together, supporting each other through the hard stuff. You're never truly alone. Everybody in the VK Punk wrestling community has got your back. Please, please reach out to anybody, any one of us if you need to. And all right, okay? All right, guys, so now let's kick into the most recent PLE from WWE, the Elimination Chamber 2026. The Women's Elimination Chamber match was first. I kind of already ran down the card in the intro when I was talking about predictions and stuff. Uh, and the Women's Elimination Chamber started things off. Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka versus Kiana, Kiana James and Raquel Rodriguez. Kiana James and Tiffany start this one off after, heated entrances where everybody's beefing and being stupid to the pods or whoever's in the pod. Keon James and Tiffany started here. It was pretty hot in the beginning. James dodged an early charge, but Tiffany reminded everyone why it's Tiffy time with some flair. James powered Stratton into the corner and hit like a flip splash and followed with a standing moonsault for a close near fall. Stratton fired back by blocking a suplex and then delivering one to Kiana James on the outside of the ring. Stratton tried a flashy handspring move, but crashed hard into the pod when James sidestepped it. Asuka enters the match first after the original two starting members, but James just put her right back into the pod aggressively. Like as soon as that door opened, she like speared Asuka and attacked her, man. It was brutal. What a spot for Kiana James, man. And if you don't know by now, I love Kiana James. She's freaking awesome. Plus, she's bad and she's a brick house, and I love her. She is amazing. Um, so what we got here is a really good spot. What usually happens is the doors open, and whoever's in the pod comes out and runs hot on everybody else. Um, this was a nice switch of things where it was Asuka's pod opening and Kiana James just ran hot on her before she had a chance to do anything. What a spot! I thought this was amazing. That's like the spot of the night, if you asked me. It was just so cool. And Kiana James, I've been lifting her up for a little while, but you watch, she's the next big thing, man. She's gonna do it. I mean, I didn't think she was ever gonna get there when she came in as Julia's heater, but she's proven herself now. Um, so after that, Asuka kind of fought through it and slammed heads into the steel. She nailed a double missile drop kick on both of the other women. Alexa Bliss joined next, unleashing quick strikes before Stratton cut her off with a running senton. Bliss trapped Stratton in the tree of woe and hit a running knee. Asuka kind of was involved in that spot too. Chaos erupted with big moves and pin attempts flying everywhere. No one stayed down long. Rhea Ripley was the next one into the match, and she got a huge pop when her door opened. Anyway, she comes in and she just clears house. She launched Stratton into Kiana James with a razor's edge power bomb type of thing. Everyone brawled on the grating outside. Bliss climbed high and delivered a massive twisted bliss on the whole group. Uh, she kind of wiped out the whole field, but Alexa Bliss got eliminated when Asuka hit the mist, and it I think it was supposed to go for James or Rhea, but they got out of the way and ended up hitting Bliss. This allowed James to roll her up for the win. So Bliss is the first one eliminated. Of course, Raquel Rodriguez is the next one to enter the frame. She stormed in and just ran through the competition. If you thought that Rhea cleared house during her uh entrance to the match, no. Raquel Rodriguez was amazing. She just tossed people, picked people up, and slung them into the cage. She powerbombed Asuka onto James and stacked them both for a double pin. Asuka and Kiana James both getting eliminated simultaneously by Raquel Rodriguez, and this is the Raquel Rodriguez that we need. She needs to be oops, sorry about that. She needs to be this badass, man. She was supposed to be like headed to the top. I know I've said about it too many times, but Raquel and Kiana are the ones that I talk up the most. Raquel deserves it. She was headed to the top before injury, and then she came back as like a tertiary member of a faction. So anyway, it's nice to see her actually looking strong in this match. I really liked that. Okay. So after the double pin on Kiana and Asuka, Rodriguez kind of targets Rhea Ripley and Stratton. Ripley dove off a pod with a senton to interrupt a powerbomb setup. Stratton then crushed Rodriguez with the prettiest moonsault for an elimination. Raquel Rodriguez has been eliminated. Jade Cargill watched from the skybox with a big grin, and Stratton and Ripley exchanged heavy shots back and forth and near falls. Stratton escaped a riptide attempt and hit a swanton bomb as she climbed for her moonsault finisher, but Ripley shoved her off into the pod headfirst. That actually kind of looked like a rough spot. There was a couple rough looking spots in this PLE. But Ripley capitalized with Riptide for the win. Tiffany Stratton has been eliminated. The new winner and new number one contender, Rhea Ripley, who was my pick in predictions war game. Ripley pointed up at Cargill post match and raised her title. Who raised her title confidently. So I'm gonna give this a yay, and I really feel like me doing the grade thing today is just kind of moot because nothing is getting a boo. Everything is getting a yay. And whether you agree with me on all the spots or not, I don't care. This whole PLE was fire. Is one of the best things that WWE has put on in a long time. Even if you didn't like the big surprise in the middle. Anyway, this gets a yay. Okay, so next up, we had the Women's Intercontinental Championship match between Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. Lynch kind of dominates early on with corner work, shoulder blocks, and headlocks. Lee fought back with a takedown, a crucifix pin, a hammerlock. They traded strikes and reversals. Lee hit a running bulldog, tornado DDT, and a shining wizard. Lynch kicked out at 2. Lynch countered with a manhandle slam attempt and slammed Lee's head repeatedly. She exposed a turnbuckle to hit a superplex and then hit a superplex into an armbar. Lee turned it into a pin, then hit the enziguri. Lynch shoved Lee into the ref accidentally and then kicked her and attacked from behind. The brawl spilled outside with barricade smashes and a whole bunch of cool spots out there. Lynch tried a tornado DDT onto a chair, but missed the spot. There was a couple dodgy looking spots in this, and that's probably the only boo this whole PLE is going to get, is that you could tell AJ Lee had some rust. It seemed like she never locked in her submission lock correctly. It seemed like she had a hard time getting the spin out of it, which any other time I've seen her do it since her return, she's did it well. I don't know why she was having such a hard time with a great performer like Becky, but a couple other spots look kind of dodgy. Um, Other than that, I mean, the match was great. So she hits a DDT on the chair anyway, followed by a manhandle slam. Lee, of course, kicks out. Lynch charged into the exposed turnbuckle when Lee dodged. Lee locked in the Black Widow, and Lynch tapped out fairly quickly. The winner and the new women's Intercontinental Champion is AJ Lee. So that definitely gets a yay. There's nothing wrong with AJ Lee, man, and her winning is amazing. I think the title could use a little bit more legacy behind it. Not that Becky Lynch was doing a bad job. She's even a 2-time Intercontinental Champion. I think I think putting it on AJ Lee is the right thing to do. Hopefully, all that rust goes away and she can look a little bit more fluid in the ring. But other than that, I mean, her character work is precision spot on. She is just amazing in general. I know I say I'm really into Kiana James, but AJ Lee was like the first wrestling girl that I was ever, well, woman that I was ever like really into like that. So we go back a long way. But this was it was good. It was good and amazing, and I'm glad to see that AJ Lee is going to run forward and hopefully do some cool stuff with the Intercontinental Championship because you know it's not going to be lame stories because Punk will probably write AJ Lee's stories. I'm pretty sure he writes his own. Okay, so next on the card, we had the World Heavyweight Championship match, which I was wondering if they were going to put this on last or not. But I guess the stipulation fight is considered more of a main event. CM Punk versus Finn Balor. I'm sure everybody had this one clocked anyway because they keep making so big a deal about the dream match at WrestleMania between Punk and Roman, which, I mean, it is, but not that it wouldn't have been a dream match if it was Finn versus Roman. I mean, that would have been an amazing one. We had the Prince or the Demon come back to face Roman. That would be I think it would be amazing. I'm also a huge Finn Balor fan. I'm not that big of a Punk fan. So I'm maybe a little jaded or a little weighted to one side, but Bullet Club has always been my stuff, man, and that's always been like a Finn Balor thing. I really, really love Finn Balor. So Punk entered to the classic Chicago Bulls theme with the legendary announcer Ray Clay hyping him up. Balor controlled early with takedowns and targeted stomps to Punk's ribs, really working the midsection of Punk there. Punk fired up, of course. He got some chops, some corner punches, a running knee, and a bulldog. He hit a suicide dive to send Balor into the desk. That old man is still doing suicide dives. Balor, however, escaped multiple GTS attempts and hit a final cut. They traded big moves. Punk landed a diving elbow. Balor hit a sling blade in a 1916. Balor missed the coup, however, and Punk applied the Anaconda Vice, but Balor escaped out of it. Balor actually finally landed the coup de grace, and Punk kicked out, though. I don't like that. Unless Balor has some new finish move that he's gonna land, I don't like that Punk kicked out of the coup. Uh, in the chaos, Punk hit a GTS, but Balor kind of rolled, like the momentum carried him out of the ring. Balor sent Punk through the barricade with a with a mean drop kick. Back inside, Balor almost walked into a GTS again, but he hit another sling blade. Balor climbed for the coup again, but Punk got his knees up. He rolled Balor into the sharpshooter. Balor reached the ropes. I'm glad they didn't make him tap out there. Punk switched to a vicious Anaconda Vice again, and then stomps, and then another GTS, and gets the 1, 2, 3. And your winner and still champion is CM Punk, which is just another reason for me not to like him. Is now he's beat Balor twice. After the match, Balor and Punk shook hands and showed some respect with inside the ring. AJ Lee ran in for a big hug with her husband so they can both show off their titles. It was a nice little spot, I guess. So that definitely gets a yes too. I don't like the winner, okay? I don't like that CM Punk won, and I don't care what anybody says. I think Finn Balor versus Roman really has some potential. If you want to bring Balor back to the top of the card, you make him go heavy with Roman, and you make him look strong against Roman, and you just like revamp his character a little so you could see that he's not playing around anymore. And just like he was doing with Punk, but then you go in there to lose. But Balor and Roman would have been a really, really good match. Punk and Roman is still going to be a good match. That's why Punk and Balor was a really good match. Even though, like I said, I don't really like the outcome. I knew it was going to happen, but I kind of wish it could have went the other way. Um, But all in all, a great match. Very technical, very hard hitting. A lot of fun spots, especially considering both of them are starting to get up there in years. But what a match. Punk won. Nice little spot afterwards with his wife. So I mean, can't not give it a yay. So now this is the part where people might not agree with me, and that's cool. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. But what's in the box, guys? What's in the box? Both the Raw and SmackDown GMs, Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce, are out in front of the box, which has been brought to the main entrance with crowbars, and they pry the box open. Uh, of course, not really anything at first. You kind of like the smoke and stuff kind of clears away, and or the lighting at least saturates the inside of the box, and it's a coffin. And Aldis and Pierce both just kind of and back off. They didn't want no part of a coffin. So nothing for a little while, and then music hit. Face painted women started dancing out of the coffin. Oh my God, it's Danhausen. He strutted ringside, man. He strutted to ringside and handed Michael Cole a jar of teeth. We love that Danhausen, man. So this was amazing. I gotta give it a yay. Okay, so the dancing chicks were kind of cool, right? Hopefully all of his stuff won't be that theatrical, and it was just that theatrical today because, it was his debut and stuff. But I love that, like, he the theme song uh is not like his old theme song, at least the one that I've heard from the indies, but it kept saying you are cursed, and every time it would say that in the song, he would go and go like that, and like a little like a little sparkler would go off. Like I get that it was supposed to be satirical. It wasn't meant to be serious. Like he curses and it's just like a little fizzle. I get it, okay? But every time he did it, it was just like some little explosion. It was nothing big. I thought it was great. If you didn't get it, then it's because you don't know who Danhausen is, which I guess was a problem because they had a lot of reports. And I'll be honest with you, when Danhausen first came out, it seemed like there was pop because I seen the video online and it was like the WWE Universe boos Danhausen at Elimination Chamber, but the boos didn't come until the lights turned off. Like when he first came out, it was like people cheered. I mean, not like a huge pop, but the people who knew him, you could tell that people knew who he was. Um, so and like he was coming down, and people were, and there was like a couple people that you could tell were like, who is this guy? But he got in the ring, or he stopped and gave Michael Cole a jar of teeth. He did another one of the curse things, and like a little sparkler went up on the rafter, like the rafter beam where they put all the lighting rig. Um, and then like he gets in the ring, they do a little bit of a dance, and then the lights drop, and that's when the boo started. I think everybody could say that Danhausen got boos, but he only got boos after the lights went out. Maybe it's because he didn't work a match. He just did the intro, so everybody was like boo because they wanted more of Danhausen. I don't think anybody clocked that situation very good. I think it was I think it was good. I think it was a good spot. It obviously gets a yay. I don't know if I did that already, but Danhausen is amazing. And if you don't get the character, if you don't know the character, you need to really go watch some of his stuff to understand, cuz I know it doesn't make a lot of sense right now, but it makes sense. Like everybody probably thought that was dumb. Yes, that is Danhausen. That's what I mean. You got to know the character. Danhausen is dumb. His whole gimmick is cheesy comedy, but it works, man. He's good. He's funny. He does it well. He's like our Truth or Mr. Iguana, and I think those three in a triple threat would be a match, boy. That would be crazy. But anyway, I think people will really like him the way they pick up on our Truth, and they were so mad when Truth got fired, and the way they all kind of seem to gravitate towards Mr. Iguana, who I do not think is a good character at all. Um, Danhausen, amazing character. You guys really, if you don't know him and you thought this was stupid, just go watch Danhausen. Go on YouTube, pick up a couple videos, do something, man, because you got to see him to really understand. But the guy can wrestle, man. The guy can talk on the mic when he needs to. He's not a man of very many words often, but he can talk. And his wrestling is pretty spot on for a guy his size and I guess body shape you want to say because he's not like a jacked dude and he's not a big guy either. He's not big or jacked. He's actually kind of soft and stuff, you know what I mean? But like he's got like a dad bod, like a bad dad bod. But anyway, this is amazing for WWE. All of you that don't like it, you just wait. Just wait. Okay, so next we get the men's elimination chamber match: Randy Orton versus LA Knight versus Cody Rhodes versus Javon Evans versus Trick Williams versus Logan Paul. So I didn't have very much expectations. I think I picked LA Knight mainly because I wanted Knight to win, and I figured if WWE didn't pull the trigger on him now, when the hell are they going to? So the question is, when the hell are they going to? Evans and Rhodes kick off the match with Rhodes hitting a delayed suplex. Trick Williams enters and trades with Evans for a little while. Logan Paul joins and gets launched through a pod by Williams. What a spot. Um, Oh, by Williams and Rhodes. I'm sorry. What a spot that was, though. LA Knight came in swinging. Evans and Knight tossed Paul off the top of a pod. That was a pretty good spot too. Randy Orton entered and handed out power slams and double DDT, the draping DDT to two of them. Knight hit a BFT on Evans atop a pod. Evans frog splashed Williams off the top of the pod. Paul hits a pulverizer on. I have a hard time saying that word, pulverizer, on Javon Evans for a pin. So Javon Evans is eliminated. Knight hits a burning hammer on Rhodes. Paul low blows Knight for a sneaky pin. LA Knight gets eliminated. I gotta say, at least you made his elimination look cheap. LA Knight couldn't afford like a clean knockout loss or a tap out here, but having him lose via a low blow was the best idea to make him lose. If you had to make him lose any other way, it would have been stupid. Um, so a masked man appears in the confusion, tries to climb on top, but of course security and Adam Pierce come down and get him. But of course, you know that the real masked man never gets caught by security. And if you go and watch the live reactions and stuff on this channel for Elimination Chamber, I'm calling it as it's happening. The masked guy comes out and he starts climbing the cage. I was like, that's not him. I was like, that's not the guy. I was like, they're going to come down and get him and take him to the back. And because everybody's busy with that guy, they're not going to see the real guy get in the ring. And that is exactly what happened. The real guy never gets caught. So even at that point, you're like, well, he got caught. Just like he got caught the other night. The real guy never gets caught. So, I mean, it's just wrestling psychology. If you really couldn't clock this one and call it out as it went along, you really don't know wrestling that well. So he appears. Security took the first one away, like I said, but another one super kicked Paul and hit a stomp. And it was Seth Rollins. He stares down Cody Rhodes and leaves, but Drew McIntyre attacks Rhodes with the title belt. Orton he RKO'd McIntyre, Rhodes hit a crossroads on him, but Orton dropped Rhodes with the RKO for the pin. Cody Rhodes has been eliminated. Logan Paul and Logan Paul is eliminated from the stomp he got from Seth Rollins, and your winner and new number one contender for the championship for to face Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania is Randy Orton. So of course this gets a big yay. My pick was LA Knight. Like I said, that's who I picked for predictions war games, and this is the only one I got wrong. But if I had to pick somebody other than Knight, it would have been Randy Orton. This makes a lot of sense. You got to put Drew in versus somebody who's a proven WrestleMania draw, who's a proving WrestleMania act. It won't be his first WrestleMania in his rookie year like it is Javon and Trix, who are really unproven on a stage that level. And just to say that, well, they did it at Elimination Chamber. Yeah, Elimination Chamber is a B pay-per-view in front of like 18,000, where WrestleMania is typically at stadiums that hold 50 to 100,000. And it's the biggest stage of them all. There's a lot more that can happen with anxiety and that kind of stress. Um, so Randy Orton's a proven draw. He's a good match for McIntyre. If you do let him win, it'll be a good 15th run for him. He'll only probably be transitional. He'll probably only hold it for a few months and then pass it to somebody else. But I don't think you take the title off of McIntyre so soon after he won it. I mean, it really feels like you're not giving him a chance to be a champion, and all it's going to do is give him another reason to complain. You know he's going to win Friday against Cody because with what happened with his involvement in the chamber, Aldis came out and told him he's facing Cody next week at SmackDown for the championship, which was kind of dumb considering only 2 weeks ago McIntyre was going, "Oh, well, you don't get a rematch. It's not a clause. It's a clause in the contract. You don't get one." Uh, so on and so forth. But we gave him a rematch anyway, and I mean, Aldis making this was like a big middle finger to Drew. He's like, "Remember how you made me write that contract up so Rhodes doesn't get a rematch? Well, here you go. Here's your rematch." Either way, the story itself doesn't make very much sense. I don't really get it. So that show, the WWE Elimination Chamber as a whole, that match gets a yay. And of course, the whole Elimination Chamber gets a yay. The show delivered big time overall with some killer moments and surprises. Danhausen's debut really did pop in the beginning. It booed at the end, but you don't know why they booed. They might have been booing because that was all the Danhausen they got. I went into that earlier. The Women's Chamber stole the show as match of the night, of course. These established superstars elevated the newer talent big time. Seth Rollins returned as the Masked Man was electric. Orton's win was a massive swerve, I guess, to some people because it seems like the internet is saying that. But I kind of like I said, I knew if it wasn't LA Knight, it had to be Randy Orton. I think LA Knight would have made more sense. Massive win for him though. Uh, Pretty cool, wild WrestleMania pass setup with the title scenes looking stacked and chaotic, man. The men's chamber was pretty hard hitting spots. Had a little bit of a slow start. CM Punk and Balor gave us a clean, classing wrestling clinic. Guys, I am not with it today. I thought I was supposed to. I hit all my other things, which I forgot to mention earlier. I'll mention that in a minute. So listen, guys, we're going into Mania with a wild ride. So the whole episode, the whole PLE gets a huge yay. So I think going into Mania, there's a lot going here. Um, there's a lot to look forward to. We got some pretty big matches for the title. The title scene is looking pretty stacked. Rhea and Jade couldn't contrast more together. Um, Roman and Punk is still a thing. McIntyre and Orton is two huge, well established, you know, surgical precision guys going at it. And what's the other one? Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vacor. That has so much potential with two of the most amazing women in wrestling. Okay, guys, time to re-emphasize here. We know wrestling is all about those big spotlight battles, but the toughest battles are the silent ones you fight in your own heads. You know, damn it, I can't believe I can't do this. Time to re-emphasize, guys. We know wrestling's all about the big spotlight battles, but the toughest ones, they're the silent ones that you fight in your own mind, like trying to kick out of a never-ending submission. Hold from your own doubts. Shout out to warriors like Big E dropping real talk, CM Punk drawing a hard line about keeping his mental health under control. And the whole industry is stepping up to normalize checking in and stuff. The point is, even the biggest badasses need a corner man sometimes. And if life's got you trapped in a coquina clutch that just won't break, don't run solo. Tag in your people, hit up the hotlines, or even slide into the VK Punk Squad DMs. We're holding the rope and ready for a tag. If you're ready to just hype you up or to just listen, if you're asking for backup, that's straight up main event strength. No cap, guys. You have got this. All right, guys. So that means it's time to pin this episode and leave it looking at the lights. In case you missed what I said earlier, I had a my debut at the W.I.N event, Undisputed. My introduction and my Rumble promo all in one. Go check that out on the Wrestling Internet Network, the W.I.N, the Promo Club. You can find them on TikTok and YouTube. Also, thanks again to the CEO over there, Corey, for giving me a chance to win this title clean. And so now I am your new VK Punk Wrestling Channel undisputed champion. And you'll start seeing the title in the screen more often and stuff, guys. All right. So thanks to Corey. Go check out W.I.N. Also check out Sockforge, who has done these amazing graphics for us, our intro sting and all of our transitions and stuff. Really cool. They've got some really cool stuff going on. You can find them on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. But flood the comments with your craziest Raw predictions, your SmackDown hot takes, whatever WrestleMania fever dreams you may have. Nonsense is bouncing around inside your skull. Make it louder than a surprise Money in the Bank cash in on your own mother. Hammer subscribe if you're rolling with the crew. Rally your squad and share this around to grow the VK Punk Legion. Lock in on Facebook and TikTok for nonstop fire. We are VK Punk Wrestlings. We run the bingo. We're going straight to the moon. And we the ones for wrestling content. Remain unbreakable. Remain electric. Chin up, tits out, and deuces. We'll throw down again real soon.